And what is going on, everybody? Episode 61, 6-1 of the We Are Family Pittsburgh Sports Podcast. We're back in class. The semester started up again, but we're virtual here just because we had to do this in the evening and everything. But thank you for tuning in. Make sure before I get into what we're going to be discussing in this episode to like this video and some of the other videos and subscribe to our channel. We're really trying to get as many as we can, obviously, but we're getting some good views and everything in our opinion. And yeah, if you like our content, subscribe and follow us on our social channels. They're in our YouTube description. But guys, we got a lot to get into as always from a lot of different sports. We got to talk baseball this week. We didn't get to talk last week. There was a bunch of big names in the free agent market that signed over the past week and a half or so. So we got to get into that. Obviously, the national championship in college football, Indiana, Miami. We got to get into that. But we're going to start with the NFL divisional round, which had a couple really good games, a couple stinkers, one really big stinker with Seattle. But gotta start out with the one that really meant the most in terms of pressure, in terms of consequence. The Denver Broncos defeat the Bills in overtime on Saturday afternoon into the evening. A really goofy game. I may be partially responsible for Buffalo's loss because I said like during the game, like early, unless Buffalo turns it over four times, they're gonna win this game. And they turned it over five times, and they
You
lost the
said
game.
three. You said, oh, they're going to turn
Oh, I
over
said
3 times. I
three.
said, Nate, they're only at one right now. But well, I'll keep counting for you. And they ended
Oh
up
my
at
goodness.
three. I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, no, I definitely undersold it there because that was just a disaster for the Buffalo Bills. And the consequence I was talking about earlier was Sean McDermott getting fired. Not
He's
too much
out
of
of
a
here.
surprise. He is
You're
out of
done.
here.
You're done.
Um, and the Bills have a
Everybody's
coaching
fired.
search. Everybody, you're fired. You're
Quarter of the
fired.
league has been fired, bro. Except
Can
Tomlin.
that
That doesn't count.
can
But
that Bills owner can he be fired? I don't think so, but he should be fired as well because that
he
was a
doesn't know what's
disaster
going on.
press conference. But just want to talk to you guys. I mean, we got to be honest. Josh Allen did not have a good game. He missed throws. He on the one interception, he badly underthrew it, and it was just not a throw you should be making. Obviously, the big one for me was that turnover right before halftime, where he's just running aimlessly. I thought he was going to try to go out of bounds or maybe just slide and we're done here. But he slides and he fumbles the ball. It goes backwards. The O lineman falls on it and then he fumbles it. And the Broncos pick it up and they just got a field goal. That was 3 points. I mean, that was really the
And
difference in the game.
what did I tell you, Nate? I said they're gonna lose by three, and that's exactly what happened. Because
Yeah,
you knew Josh Allen they were gonna score points, but there was just gonna be some BS where they screw it up in the end, and Denver holds on that's how Denver won. I mean, Denver won the most one-score games this year. They were basically the 2020, was it 2023 Vikings or 2022 Vikings?
I think it was
2023
20.
Vikings and 2024, or no, 2022 Vikings, 2024 Chiefs.
Yeah, like they won the most one-score games, and they just like there was a lot of games you didn't feel like they deserved to win, or they played down to their competition, and they kind of just found a way to win, and that means something in the NFL. You have to give Sean Payton a lot of credit for the development of Bo Nix. I know people kind of laugh at Bo Nix, but like he played very, very well in that first half, and he made some very critical throws when it mattered most at the end of the fourth quarter. And I mean, we all know Josh Allen's the better quarterback, but on that day, Bo Nix made less mistakes, and I think the Bills have had the Josh Allen syndrome for a long time where. And it's not only this year. I feel like it's been a constant. Is they have they don't have a Super Bowl roster necessarily, especially on the defensive side of the ball. and in a receiving core. So they rely on Josh Allen to be superhuman. And what we saw is when the quarterback feels like they always have to be superhuman, they're gonna make mistakes sometimes, and unfortunately, it happened in the worst moments. Of course, that last interception, there's a lot of debate about whether that was a catch or not. I think it was the right call, but whether or not it was the right call or not doesn't really matter to me, because this is what irritates me about the Bills every year. Every single year they lose in the playoffs, it's somehow the refs' faults that they lost and that they lost. Like, we got to get over this. Oh, the refs have it out for the Bills. Believe me, if the league wanted to rig the game, they would much rather have Josh Allen facing Drake May this week than Bo Nix or now Jarrett Stidham. Okay, so I think it was the right call. We can have that debate, but the Bills need to take accountability for not surrounding Josh Allen with enough talent, and not having a guy on their side of the ball, not having a coach that really knows their side of the ball. And I think a good first step was in firing Sean McDermott. Oh no! Oh my gosh! Oh my! He's invaded.
I got the money. You think I'm sleeping? I'm here.
Wow.
Gentlemen.
Wow, we have a surprise. We did not know this was going to happen, folks. This is television. I don't even know what to say. Brian Cashman in the flesh, and I saw Brian actually earlier today, and it was great seeing Brian. He was very happy about Bellinger, and the
You're
Yankees.
interrupting the whole flow of the podcast, Brian.
Well, this is tremendous here. This was not at all expected. I saw Jake Bell.
I just came out of nowhere to get Bellinger for 5 years, not 7, 5 years.
What have you added though to the team though?
We don't talk about that.
It's still the same team.
We got Garrett Cole back. I think that makes a big difference this year.
That is true, but you need some. I think you need some depth in that lineup. I don't know.
And
You
I
need
think
another.
that can happen, at the trade deadline. I think right now we're a playoff team. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah.
Right now, the Steelers are a playoff team. Where did that come from?
Wow,
what are you guys talking about right now?
We're talking about Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. I don't want to interrupt.
No, you already did, buddy. So you're in now.
That's a very valid point there, Pirate Payne.
It's good to see you. I'm still waiting to see you in person, though.
I know, it's been a minute.
We gotta go get a drink. We gotta go to the bar.
I went to the casino with
Yes, bro. I was at the casino, and you weren't paying attention to what was going on. You were negotiating with Bellinger.
Are we going to McFadden's? Oh.
I've never been. Maybe.
I can't imagine you in that place.
Wow.
I don't know if I can imagine me either, buddy.
Yeah. How'd you do at the casino?
Not good. I lost a ton of money. Jake Bell was teaching me the basics of blackjack on this machine, And then I played it a little later, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. I was like, let's go.
You didn't get the fundamentals of the game.
What?
You didn't get the fundamentals of the game.
No, don't have the fundamentals down, but we're going to work on it next time.
All right. So Josh Allen, what do we think? Do you think the coaching change was necessary, or?
Well, yeah, so that's what I was saying. Like, I think it was. I don't think McDermott was attention to detail enough, generally. I think they made too many mistakes. And it wasn't just, of course, in that game it was Josh Allen, but overall, too many penalties. And if you're a defensive coach, you're supposed to elevate your side of the ball. We never saw that happen. Even when they had better defensive rosters, they got destroyed by Joe Burrow and Mahomes in the playoffs every single year.
Yeah. I also think Josh Allen didn't have enough around, like a good supporting cast around him.
Right, and that also falls on the coach because he had involvement in how the roster was shaped. However, I still think that can be true, but it can also be true that why is Brandon Beane getting a promotion? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Well,
And they had a whole press conference saying how, it wasn't his fault.
I've never
Like,
seen that in my life. Have you guys ever seen that?
No, it's very strange. It's a very strange, like, I think getting rid of McDermott is a good thing, but if you're going to give the general manager more control, I mean, that coach better be good. Whoever they get, I don't know.
Do you think that? I mean, that job obviously opens up later. Do you think a Stefanski or Harbaugh is like, oh, if I didn't take the Falcons or the Giants job, that job's a lot more attractive with the future?
That's a great. I mean, I think a lot of people were making memes about that on the internet, like John Harbaugh is reading this. He's in tears.
I don't think Stefanski likes Atlanta anymore. There's been the Atlanta fans.
I think Atlanta's a
like
very
Stefanski.
talented team, though.
I think I'm going to be honest with you. If I were to make a prediction today, I'd have Atlanta winning that division. And I don't know who their quarterback's going to be next year. But I think Stefanski, as an offensive coach, I think Stefanski, if they stick with Penix, I like Penix. I think there's something there. I don't think that Zach Robinson was not as good as he was hyped up to be. And actually, Zach Robinson just took the Bucks offensive coordinator job. So
yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that necessarily.
I don't know about the Bucks next year.
I don't. I know.
Todd Bowles is on.
Todd Bowles.
He's on the
hot. He has the hottest seat.
Yeah.
Other than Zach Taylor.
I love
and
Todd.
I think the Saints and the Panthers are going to be better next year.
The Saints. I mean, I think the Saints and the Panthers both have good offensive coaches, and the Saints I think have the quarterback in place. He has still more to prove, but I like Shuck and
they took
the
Durant
well.
to the final minute of that game. Like that team
they
might
beat
be
them earlier.
That team might be closer than we think.
Bryce Young, I don't necessarily see as the long-term option, though. But, I mean, if you keep Dave Canales around, you can absolutely win games with Bryce Young. I just don't think you sign him long-term. He's undersized. He's just been too inconsistent. He has to put together a really good season.
I mean, that could be a benefit because, I mean, you look at these teams that have, gave him those massive contracts to, and they've had a tough time, building a good supporting cast where Bryce Young isn't going to demand, the top dollar, but he's still a serviceable quarterback in the league, and I think that might benefit them.
And you can utilize him through his fifth-year option, too, so you could have a couple more years.
Carolina's roster is still a work in progress. It was better this year, but I don't know how we got to the This podcast has gotten out of control, but
this is folks.
This is good stuff.
All happening.
You're talking about Bryce Young.
Well, I do want to talk about Josh Allen, though. Like I heard there are people that were saying we need to have a conversation about Josh Allen. Okay, which is
that Bills team struggles to win 4 games without Josh.
Yeah, because people were like, "Oh, everyone keeps saying it's this, and this," but the constant is Josh Allen. Well, maybe the constant was Sean McDermott too. I'm not like Josh Allen is one of the best talents at quarterback, and he's proven to win playoff games. I know he lost to the Broncos, and that was a lot on him with the turnovers. But at the end of the day, he's still a phenomenal quarterback. Usually the best, if not top 3, every single year. So.
I mean, I agree. I mean, for that specific game, you could blame Josh Allen.
Right.
But for their overall, as the owner put it, playoff wall, it hasn't been on him. The defense, I think, has been allowing on average 33 points a game in their losses. So I think we all kind of felt
side of the ball, like you were saying earlier, Peyton.
We kind of all felt, with McDermott, it's like I think everyone has been kind of saying, like, is he really a great coach? Like, I don't think anyone's really thought that he's a great coach. I mean, out of the eight coaches that were in the divisional round, he's easily 8th. He was easily 8th. And when you have a generational superstar like Josh Allen, McDermott's a decent coach. I mean, he helped develop a culture there. I mean, he went to the playoffs without Josh Allen, but you have to be better. You have to have a certain level of coaching that's upper tier. And McDermott, I mean, he's not near any of these coaches that were in this past round.
He's a program builder. He's not a decision-making head football coach.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at the Final Four. Look at these coaches.
But you know who could use a Sean McDermott?
The
The
Steelers.
Raiders. The Raiders.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know what
That
we're
would be
gonna
bad
do.
because
I don't know what we're gonna do.
he obviously has an eye for quarterbacks. Like I feel like if he likes Mendoza, I don't know. It's interesting.
I thought Stefanski would have been a good hire. I wanted McDaniel. Now he's in our division on the Chargers, so I don't love that. I mean, I don't know.
I think the Chargers. I mean, I think they've won the coaching carousel, and they don't even need a head coach.
I
Get
thought
McDaniel as your offensive coordinator is
I
huge.
thought McDaniel should have went to the Lions because I think that's a lot more.
I know,
talented offense.
but Lions. I could argue the Chargers have been the biggest winners, and the Lions are the biggest losers. They hired Drew Petzing, and I don't know much about the guy other than that he was Arizona's coordinator.
I think
I don't
McDaniel-
I don't think that went very well.
He goes to Detroit, he gets a top 5 offense, and he's gets to pick where he wants to be a head coach next year. That's what I thought was going to happen.
With McDaniel.
Yeah, with McDaniel.
Yeah. But I mean, the Chargers, though. I mean, there's a lot of talent in that offense. They just got to fix the offensive line. They need creativity. They need creativity. That wasn't there with Greg Roman.
I think McDaniels could learn something from Harbaugh. He's been around for a while and maybe learn about getting that
toughness.
Locker room under control. How to address guys not showing up to meetings because that was an issue in Miami. So maybe he can
getting control. Setting the culture. Yeah.
I think he's a great X's and O's guy. Maybe he struggles in that.
Oh, that was absolutely the downfall of him. Yeah, absolutely. And they lacked the physicality too.
Yeah.
Now they were able to run the ball, but that was because of HAN's speed, not necessarily because they were good in the trenches.
I mean, you look at middle of the season, we thought he was going to get fired in Miami, but they did finish strong. They really did.
Yeah.
There was a stretch where they could have made the playoffs, just a tiny 1 week window where they could have made it. But
what really screwed McDaniel? You talk about giving Bryce Young a big contract. You give a smaller, not that strong of an arm quarterback a big contract like that, you're stuck because you can't build the roster. I mean, you see it with the Bills. I mean, I'm sure the Bills struggle with it because they're giving Josh Allen a ton of money and because you're picking at the bottoms of the draft too. That's a whole other
Josh Allen's
conversation.
also living up to that contract.
I'm not comparing him to Tua, but I'm just saying, when you pay your quarterback a lot of money and the quarterback isn't good, and you can only elevate him for so long as an offensive coach, what are you going to do?
I mean, he got to the playoffs twice with Tua, which is a huge accomplishment considering the way he's been playing.
He'll get another chance.
He will.
He'll get another chance. But if you're with a motivator, a culture builder like Harbaugh, you can definitely learn some things.
Yeah, I think that's a big part.
And I think Harbaugh needed more creativity in the offense. So I think that's going to be a great, great match.
Yeah. And, that offensive line will get healthy during the offseason. So.
Well, the tackles, but they need to address the center, the guard. It's bad. Like that's bad too. Like it's not just they lost their tackles. Yeah, like the other 2 or 3 guys in the trenches were not good either. So
I think that's an attractive place to go if you're a free agent, though. You got Justin Herbert. You get to go to Los Angeles.
Right.
McDaniels is your OC.
And Najee Harris made it very well known that the facilities are very good too. Yeah. So that's also a drawing point.
They need a receiver also. They need somebody who can get open. Nobody got open for against New England at all.
Yeah.
What else, Cashman, what else do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Mendoza?
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Let's talk about the national championship. Yeah, let's get into that.
So Indiana wins the national championship. Mendoza wasn't his greatest game, but Miami has an incredible pass rush. Right? I mean, they were just all night. I mean, against anybody, they're gonna get a pass rush. And Mendoza, we know the big 4th down play where he barrels his way into the end zone. I mean, that right there, that screams franchise guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
you
the guy.
Mendoza not having his best game, but I think the greatest quarterbacks, even when their game's not there, they find a way. They find a way to win, and that's what Mendoza did. And you got to be proud of that. I mean, that play to get in the end zone, like that's going to be played on replay for 100 years for all Hoosier fans.
And Mendoza did something that no one has ever done in win the national championship for Indiana.
Yeah.
So
Not even close. Like, not even close to, like before last season.
They've had
They were the
3
worst
bowl
team in football.
wins. And they got three bowl wins in their entire history, and they got 3 bowl wins the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Yeah. And whenever they went 8-5 in 2019, that was like one of their best seasons ever, like ever. And then all of a sudden you go 11-2 or 11-2, and then you go 16-0. This is incredible. And then Mendoza's at the helm for just a historic season.
And it's all. I mean, he didn't have a plethora of 5-star guys here. I mean, he brought in his guys from JMU, 3 stars, and actually developed and coached them, which is a major difference.
Well, the genius of Cignetti is bringing in obviously his own guys, but bringing in older players, right? I mean, the average age I think of the Indiana Hoosiers was slightly older than the average age of the Green Bay Packers. So when you have players, I mean, there's a lot of younger players that are probably more talented around college football than what Indiana has, but when they have the experience that they do and have the discipline that they do, it's easier to coach. And I think that's Cignetti's formula. And he's the real, to me, he's the pioneer of the NIL era. Like, he's the first coach that just came in and figured it out right away and he set the tone for other universities to say, hey, we don't necessarily, just because we haven't been on the map in football doesn't necessarily mean we can't be. If we get the necessary funds, and that's of course a big part, and you get the right coach, and you're in one of any of the Power 4 conferences, like, you can make it happen. You can.
The same with NIL too. You got to pay the right players. I think that's a great aspect of it. You got to find the right guys that fit your program and what you want to do. And obviously Indiana did that this year.
Well, you look at Mendoza, okay, he has the height, he has the kind of frame, he can get around in the pocket, he's not a statue, he's not a speedster, but he's tough, and he's a smart kid, and he just has that personality, just as somebody who's humble, and who wants to get better and everything as well, and I don't think he's anywhere near, people are comparing him to Joe Burrow in 2019, it's nowhere near that. We're not going to see that ever again. That's just never going to happen again. But he just, like, in the biggest moments, I mean, against Penn State, they're down. He has that game-winning drive, the really great throw in the back of the end zone to win that game. He bounces back against Oregon. He threw a bad pick, in the first matchup. Obviously, the last game against Oregon, he was dominant. I mean, just pitch and catch. I mean, just the accuracy.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the one thing that really stood out to me during the course of this playoff, just his accuracy. I mean, it was NFL accuracy, the throws he was making. It was impressive.
Against Oregon, he had more touchdowns than incomplete passes. Yeah. That's pretty impressive.
I think Go ahead, Nate.
I was just going to say, like, with a receiving core that isn't full of 5 stars. Now, I think Omar Cooper, I think Surratt are really good players. But like you were saying, Cashman, it's James Madison guys. It's 3 stars who are, just coming to Indiana and Cignetti coaching them up. But Mendoza, man, I've just been really impressed because last year at Cal, I thought he was a solid college quarterback. Maybe he could be like a late round NFL pick with his size and everything and his family history in the league. But he's just been tremendous, man. I can't say enough about him.
I think what separates him, from a lot of quarterback prospects and number 1 picks specifically, because we've seen the guys who are like their talent is through the roof. They're in terms of talent, arm strength, athleticism, right? The sky's the limit for a lot of these guys. When you think of Trevor Lawrence, right? Andrew Luck. Now, Joe Burrow has always been more of a pocket guy, but, like, he thought the sky's the limit. I don't necessarily think that way about Mendoza in terms of athleticism and arm strength, But what makes me think the sky's the limit for him is not because of his physical traits, but because of his mental traits, right? The way he speaks, his focus and attention to detail. There was a funny tweet I saw. I assume he did say this, but he says he doesn't have time for girls.
Yeah.
because he says, I'm a guy who gives my all, and if I were to get into a relationship, that would be less time for me to watch film. And that's funny, but like that's if I'm the Raiders, I'm like, yes, this is the kind of player I want. What made Peyton Manning great? What made Tom Brady great? It was what they did in the film room. It's their brain. Yeah, it was their brain, and I think that's Mendoza's superpower. And I think you got to be excited if you're a Raiders fan, but you got to get the coach right. Yeah. Because look, Mendoza is barely escaping pocket. People say they think he's a little athletic, but he has trouble escaping pockets in college. It's going to get much worse in the NFL. So they got to have the right coach to get the running game going and get the offensive line, help him along.
I think he's athletic, like in open field. Like he wants to get that first down. He needs like 5 yards.
And he's a big guy.
But yeah.
Like as elusive, like in the pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Like he can get the first down. He needs 5 yards. He's running down the field. I think he's tough enough to do that. But,
and that 4th and 5 play, you talked about it, Nate. But what an effort by Mendoza. But how about the balls to go for it there? If they don't go for it there, they probably lose.
Yeah, and if he fumbles that ball too, like he took some hard hits to be able to hold on to that ball.
Did you see his arm at the end of the game?
Yeah.
That described the Miami defense this year, just violent. Yeah. And there should have been some personal foul calls. Cignetti was upset about that, and rightfully so. Some bad hits on Mendoza in the first half.
They let the boys play, so I think you got to respect that in a national championship game.
Well, it was funny. I saw a video, and they're actually very much right. They're like, Cam Ward came to Miami a year or two soon. And obviously, he had no choice, but imagine Cam Ward on that Miami team. Holy.
Dude.
He had a horrible defense last year.
I think if you put Cam Ward on this Miami team, they would have beat Indiana.
They would have went undefeated.
I think they would have.
Yeah.
But they would have lost to Pitt. Pitt would have won this time around.
Oh, yeah. Just like how they beat Carson Beck this year.
I'll say this, Jake.
Yep.
If Indiana can win a national championship, so can Pitt.
No.
Indiana, they have a Bellinger Cuban on their side.
Cashman, Pitt is one of the wealthiest universities in the country. Like, people don't realize that. Pitt doesn't lack money. It's the fact that the people that put money into the university are nerds. With all due respect. There's not people interested in investing in the athletic program. They're interested in the academics. And for the sake of society, it's probably better to invest money in education and science. But at this podcast, we're interested in winning games. So,
we're all about
and winning championships.
That's all that matters.
That's annoying to us. But in all seriousness, I do think, I think
it gives teams hope. That's my point.
Yeah.
If Pitt, I feel like Pitt has to come up with a strategy to get people to want to donate to Pitt. You know what I mean? Like first of all, how about let's get your basketball program in order?
Yeah.
Right? Because Indiana is always been a historically good basketball school. There's a lot of history there. They have a large alumni base, right? Indiana has one of the largest alumni bases in the country. That's where Mark Cuban comes in, right? So, getting your alumni to buy into what you're doing is important, and to have a strong alumni base. So,
but the buy-in has to be because you got a strong coach, and Pitt doesn't have that basketball
Anywhere.
or football right now.
Nope.
It's a disgrace. Pitt basketball's a disgrace. I really, man, I don't even know what to say. I don't even want to talk about it, but Cashman, I do want to talk about. I want to talk about the Raiders. I want to talk about this coaching search. I gotta be honest. I haven't heard anything. Not very much from the Raiders.
Yeah, I haven't heard much either.
I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they're just being diligent, but you know, you see the Cleveland Browns, like they have no idea what they're doing right now. Obviously,
aren't they like struggling to like lure in coaches for interviews? I saw that. Is that real?
the Browns. Chris Shula said, "I'm good. I don't want to interview."
I mean, being the defensive coordinator for the Rams is a better job.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And the Raiders are absolutely a better job than the Browns.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
We were talking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think some of these coaches are like, I'm not interested because some of these coaches only get one chance at this to be a head coach. I mean, if you're taking a Cardinals job or a Browns job, you know, that might be your only chance. And I mean, like, if you don't get like at least like a 4-year window, it's going to be a tough to turn that team around.
And it's why Belichick decided to resign from the Jets on that napkin.
I think if you're the Raiders, bring in an offensive coach.
I think we're an attractive destination. Like, we're in Las Vegas. There's no tax on players. We got brand new facilities. You know, we're getting the franchise quarterback. You
have the running back, the tight end,
the defensive end.
Right. Yeah. Although, do you think
they might trade him?
Do you think they should trade Crosby? I mean, the amount of capital you could get.
Yeah.
If you really, because I think this team really needs a rebuild.
He's had some injuries. Well, I think our GM, you know, misevaluated our team. I thought he was closer. You know, when you trade for Geno Smith and you draft a running back at 6, that usually, you know, shows that, you know, you're ready to at least win like 9 games.
And clearly that wasn't. I think that's what we kind of thought. They'd win 7, 8,
they were
maybe 9 games.
Had that just missed the playoffs just because of so many different pieces on offense. I figured they would still be competitive, but it would take a while to get going. I didn't think it would turn into way.
I think it's rare to draft a running back that high, and you know, and you think you're going to be that good, and then you turn out to be that bad. I think that's rare.
I mean, I don't think they need to do a rebuild. I mean, they need to rebuild that defense because
we need to rebuild
and the offensive line.
Oh yeah, well the O line. Do they have a new O line coach? How is that O line guy? Does he still have a job?
Well, I think
that was a disaster.
Carroll's son was hired, and
is he the O line coach?
There were some issues, you know, and he didn't do a good job. He wasn't committed. He was kind of handed the job. And he was the run game coordinator. And what we struggle in all year, the run game.
I'm looking at the candidates. If I'm the Raiders, they interviewed both Kubiaks. I'm hiring one of the Kubiaks.
Yeah, we need offensive minded.
Or Mike LaFleur. Mike LaFleur got an interview, but I don't think he's had a ton of interviews.
But the Raiders have to be very. The Raiders are probably trying to be very careful with who they hire because they fired Antonio Pierce and Pete Carroll back to back.
They have like 5 coaches on contract, including John Gruden. Yeah. Why not bring John Gruden back? They should just bring John Gruden. That's the last time they were anything relevant.
Yeah, that's true. Who will have the better record next year, the Raiders or the Steelers?
That's a TBD, man. That's a TBD.
Yeah,
I don't know who the coach is.
Free agency.
Did you guys talk Steelers already?
No,
we did a lot last week.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we can a little bit.
I don't know what you guys do. I think.
I don't know. I have a feeling. It's not going to be Flores, because the fact that there's already been an announcement, like, oh, he signed a contract with the Vikings, is kind of strange. Like, but the Vikings, they gave him 2 interviews.
The Vikings, you know, they had to pay a price for Flores. Like, I bet he's probably the highest paid DC in the league right now.
Yeah, but he can still opt out of that, and if he gets the job with the Ravens, well, no, it was either the Ravens or the Steelers. So Flores is either going to get the job with the Steelers or go back to being the defensive coordinator. Because I think he's out with the Raiders, right? He didn't. Did he interview with the Raiders? I thought he interviewed with the Raiders, but I guess not.
Well, since Stefanski obviously is out, and assuming Flores is out, I think Shula has to be the move for the Steelers, right? Or at least he would be
Yeah,
the guy you would
but
target.
here's two guys who are under the radar. Obviously, Mike McCarthy got an interview. We can talk about that. But I think two guys that are surfacing that people aren't really paying attention to. There was a report yesterday, Nate Shieldhouse. Very impressive. Now, my thing with him is he's never been an offensive coordinator. He's been he's a passing game coordinator, but to jump from that to the head coach, but obviously he's impressive because the Raiders interviewed him, the Browns, everyone's interviewed him, it feels like. And then apparently they really like Anthony Weaver. He's getting a second interview Friday. The thing is, like, Shieldhouse, like, yes, we know, okay, he's under McVay. Like, I'd feel comfortable with that. Anthony Weaver, what am I supposed to be impressed with him as far as his coaching background is concerned? I just don't know. I mean, he's a former player, but like he was a defensive coordinator for a bad Dolphins team. I don't know what to
I'll
make
look
of
up
him.
his coaching history.
I don't know what to make of that.
And on ESPN, they're like, oh, like he made a bad Dolphins defense average. And they're like, he's a strong candidate. Like, I'm not impressed. I need more in terms of the Weaver guy. I just don't know what to make of that.
If you want to transition from DC to head coach, your defense needs to be top 10 that year.
Here's some of his.
I can agree with that.
Here's some of Weaver's coaching history. The first time he was a defensive coordinator was 2020 with the Texans. That team wasn't very good. They only won 4 games. Then he was the defensive line / associate head coach from 2021 through 2023 with the Ravens, and has served as the Dolphins defensive coordinator the last 2 years.
Well, he's a former Raven.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what to make of him. I don't know.
Like a head coaching hire, I would be jumping up and down for.
No.
I feel like if you get Shula, you have a better chance at stealing Steelhouse and making him the offensive coordinator.
There you go, Shieldhouse.
Yeah, Shieldhouse. Yeah. So
he's gonna get used to that real quick
in this
here.
house, we say Shieldhouse.
That's why I'm sure the Pirates didn't get Eric Haas.
Obviously, the dream scenario would be you get Shula and Shieldhouse, and Shieldhouse is the offensive coordinator.
Right. That would be my dream scenario. Now
yeah.
Assuming he.
But like, I'm a big Brian Flores guy, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I just don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's looking like right now. That's like the feeling.
Can we talk about Mike McCarthy real quick?
I got one more thing before we get.
Go ahead.
I mean, as a head coach, do you think the Steeler job's attractive? Obviously the brand's big. That's a flex to be able to work for the Steelers. But I think that roster is kind of an issue. You're paying a lot of old guys a lot of money, and some turn with Watt and now Metcalf.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? I know you guys have a lot of draft picks, though, I will say.
I don't think it's. I'd say out of the 10 jobs that now there's only 6, right, or 5. I would say it was probably
middle of the pack.
Yeah, 4th or 5th, which is what the Steelers are, always middle of the pack. So, because in terms of the history of the franchise, the most attractive for for any coach is the stability, right? 3 head coaches in 50 whatever years, and I the Steelers are gonna want to compete, right? You don't necessarily have to go through a rebuild. Although we all agree that the Steelers need to retool in a lot of ways. But, and the Steelers, I feel like they have a lot of good pieces. It's just, there's a lot of holes, but there's a lot of good pieces, too. I think obviously, there's some rosters like Arizona,
yeah,
Miami, there's just so many holes,
I mean, you look at the Final Four of these teams, and one thing they all have in common, all these quarterbacks are high first-round draft picks, and in order to be good, sometimes you gotta be really.
You have to be okay. I'm not saying you have to purposely have a bad year, but you have to be okay with risking to have a bad year. You have to be okay with having a bad year.
You don't want to be bad. You might have to say goodbye to 2 first-round draft picks in order to move up.
Right. I mean, this year isn't the year to move up for a quarterback,
No,
though.
it's not.
But
I think next year though is loaded.
I'm for drafting a quarterback every year. You just don't draft a quarterback in the first round every year.
Yeah.
You draft in the later rounds, and because until you find that guy, the Steelers haven't had a process of that, and that's been an issue, and that process has to start now. So.
Well, I think with the Steelers, I mean, I think it has been overblown the roster. I mean, offensively, you don't really have to do too much. I think defensively, you got to find a way to get out of that Queen contract. You got to find a way to get a safety somehow. But it is like, other than that, and I would get out of the Watt. If anybody wants T.J. Watt, I would trade him now.
Trade him for a
They
fourth.
should have traded him before they extended him because that's where he
They would've got
That's what we
value.
were saying. That's what we
Right.
were saying.
But now you got to just get what you can get. Because Herb, we literally saw what the defense looked like. Now, of course, it's with the Mike Tomlin scheme, but the defense
But
didn't
still.
change without him. In past years when he was really good, the defense took a hit. Herbig and Highsmith are probably both better than him right now.
At this point, yeah, at this point.
I mean, the
So
Texans,
I don't.
their edge rushers looked miles better than Watt. I mean, Watt in the playoffs doesn't record any sacks whatsoever.
Yeah, so again, like, I don't think, like, people are like, oh, it's such an old roster. There's, like, 3 guys that are, like, really old that Steelers need to move off, and Queen is a
But they do
joke.
need to get younger. I mean, they do. They do.
But, I mean, they're very young overall if you look at the
Their whole line is
roster. I
young.
mean,
On
their whole
offense, they're
is young.
younger. Defense is where they need to get younger.
Well, that is the
specifically.
interior D line is young. Joey Porter was excellent at the end of the season and the whole second half. Right, James Pierre was one of the best corners by PFF.
Yeah.
Right, so I mean, now the whole linebacker room needs revamped, and you're hoping with the defensive guy, you figure they have to know linebacker better than Tomlin. I mean, that's a low bar, but I mean, I don't think it's now the big issue is quarterback, right? And that's what we're looking at. I have no idea where the Steelers are going to go at quarterback. I mean, and nobody's any clue. I would love a Malik Willis kind of player, right? That has that
If he
potential
signs
to
a 1 year
turn
deal,
that.
I would love Malik Willis.
But he's going to be very valued, right? But the Steelers do have a lot of caps. They have a lot of cap space. They have a lot of draft picks. So there's some things going their way. I think you trade Queen. You try to, if somebody wants Queen, anybody, we can get a 6th rounder for Queen or so. But
Yeah.
T.J. Watt, trade him. Try to get another. You get those picks.
What do you
And
get?
then-
Is Cam Hayward on the block? Because his value may never be higher. But I don't see. I feel like at this point though he doesn't want to leave Pittsburgh. Whereas T.J. Watt, I think, would want to leave Pittsburgh because, I mean, he clearly had an emotional attachment to Tomlin. I think Hayward does too. But Hayward's been here for. I mean, he's coming to the end. So it's like, whereas Watt, you would think has more years left
What's
than
realistic?
Hayward, but who knows?
What do you guys think you're getting for Watt right now?
Like a 3rd or a 4th?
I was gonna say, yeah.
It's
definitely
a lot of money he's owed.
He was worth 2 first rounders easy last. You know,
Mm-hmm. I know. Yep.
Yeah.
And
They
that's
gave him a
probably why they
contract.
won't trade him because they'll look bad if they trade him
That
now.
was really bad.
Yeah.
It
But
looks
sometimes
bad
you
right
got to
now.
do what you got to do. You can't like say, oh well, we made a mistake. Let's not correct our mistake. You know, just because we don't want to look bad. That's bad management.
That's
I gotta-
I mean, that's an awful mistake.
Well, also, you
Yeah.
kind of have to look at what package would be better. If you get maybe a 3rd-round pick, but you have to eat up half Watt's salary, or do you trade for like a 5th-round pick and the opposing team eats up the entire salary? That's something.
Steelers they're gonna have to eat up salary for
It's
sure.
like completely falling off.
Right.
Where his value's only a 5th-round pick. I think he's still a serviceable player. But I think at least a 3rd, probably a 2nd.
It's just like nobody wants that. I mean, cap space is so limited with these teams. It's just such a big contract. It's $40 million a year. You know, over $40 million. The Steelers, and they can eat half of that, and they're going to have to. Probably.
But it would be a win for them,
Yeah.
for terms of money.
I think a
concerned.
team that would be willing to do that is a team that's in contention right now and their quarterback's
Chicago.
Yep.
Cash, I want to talk to
Chicago,
you.
Denver, right?
Yeah.
Like teams that start spending big money on the quarterback.
Patriots right now.
Right.
Cash, and we got to talk about your hometown team. I don't know if you necessarily root for them, but the Bears, what a season.
What a season
Uh,
for them.
what were
I
your
mean,
thoughts? I mean, Caleb Williams, he makes like the greatest plays you've ever seen. You wish he was a little more accurate on kind of the easier throws. But he's a star in the making now with Ben Johnson. But what was your reaction this season? I mean, Bears. It felt like I'm nowhere near Chicago, but it just felt like that city is rejuvenated.
oh
I mean, the
yeah.
Bears.
I mean, they've been waiting for this for such a long time for like a franchise quarterback and staple head coach. And you look at that franchise overall, and it's just been up and down, up and down. And where Ben Johnson comes in, and he just changed that. He just changed everything. And you got to think of it this way too. That was only year one with Williams and Johnson. Just think about what they could do next year in year two, where they have an entire offseason to regroup, and then Caleb Williams, he's only improving into year three. I think he'll work on those easy throws, but I mean, his ceiling is just probably a top three quarterback in the league.
Well, imagine this. Imagine Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams on the 2018 Bears.
Yeah,
that would
and
be
that defense.
That would be a
Going
you reckon with.
Well, the Bears need to improve their defense, and I was impressed.
will.
I was shocked. I was shocked though by how well they played defensively.
Yeah, and they didn't have
The
they
last
don't-
6 quarters
Yeah.
of their season.
they don't
Dennis
have
Allen.
defense either too. I think they played unbelievable, and I think this year it would be a bonus if the Bears made the NFC Championship game. I think a lot of Bears fans are satisfied with how the season ended. Obviously, they want to go farther, but Bears fans can see there is a path to the Super Bowl, and I think they will come out of the NFC next year.
I mean,
Calling it
Caleb
now.
Williams. Well, I mean, if he catches like you were saying, I think too in the offseason he's gonna those easy completions. He's gonna get those down with Ben Johnson. He's easily a top 5 quarterback in the league if he does that.
And he's got all these weapons. I mean, that rookie tight end had an unbelievable postseason. And I think you can move on from a guy like DJ Moore potentially, and dump some.
I mean, he cost them their season.
There
We
was
got to
some-
be
there
honest.
was some mock
That pick was not on Caleb.
Raiders grabbing DJ Moore and some picks for Max Crosby. I think we were all sent that to each other.
Well, I think with Moore,
Well,
like,
wasn't there the
he's just-
proposed trade online? Max Crosby goes to the Bears for picks and DJ Moore,
Yeah,
and you get Mendoza. I mean, they need a number 1 receiver.
do.
the thing was like I know Moore had that bad play on the interception, but Roma Dunze just completely missed an easy touchdown on the first drive. Right? I know the contract, but DJ Moore, he just feels like a key player for that offense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know, Dunze hasn't stepped up to Loveland's been great, and Komet's a great tight end as well. They got 2 great tight ends, 2 really solid running backs. So I don't know. I mean, you like to pay everyone and keep everyone, but it's tough.
Yeah, and I was saying this to my friend. Like, obviously, the Bears fans are happy with the season how it went, but like, I think some fan bases it's hard for them to realize, but like, it's so hard to get to that point. To be the final 8. Like, there's some teams that can never.
Steeler fans know that pretty
Look at
well.
the Lions. I mean, they were like 2 quarters away from the Super Bowl, and now they can't make the playoffs. Like, sometimes your window is very short, and you have to capitalize on your opportunities. And they were at home, and it was unfortunate with that with that pick to DJ Moore. But I don't think they're the.
That was a bad route. I don't know if you guys heard that he screwed because if you look at when Caleb released the throw, it was the right read because DJ Moore was supposed. If he cuts in, there's all sorts of open space between him and the safety, and he didn't round out his route. He kept going, and the safety cut in, and it was a bad route.
They needed 3 points to win that game, and they
could have ran it, but
they
we got
were moving the ball down the field just fine running it.
The Rams D line gave. I mean, especially on 3rd and short and 4th and short, that cost them points because they got stopped multiple
I
times
think
on
later in the
3rd
game,
and 4th and short.
I think in overtime, that defense was getting tired on the Rams after that long drive before.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I really thought. I mean, he had another miraculous. I mean, that was arguably the most miraculous play. I was like thinking to myself, this team. There is divine intervention here with this football team, and
Hope.
3rd and 1, the Rams in overtime, they do a pitch. They get the ball back. Bears get the ball back. I'm thinking they're going to do it again. Like, this is unbelievable. And,
How about that
you
pitch?
know,
Oh, my goodness.
Arthur Smith.
McVay admit, this is why I like McVay, because he's accountable, right? Like, he did not coach a good game. He admitted it. Like,
I saw he admitted it. Yeah.
he didn't. They should have been. The problem with McVay at times is, he loves Stafford and he loves to pass, right? He's a pass-first kind of guy. But with that weather, with with Stafford having a pinky injury, the Bears were having success defending the pass. Their secondary was actually playing well. When the Rams were doing well was when they were running the ball for a lot of that game. And that first drive specifically, they ran the ball right down their throats, and then McVay got away from it, and they weren't in the flow that they needed to be. And I thought it was very on that. They had a chance to close out the game because, remember, 4th and goal, they got a stop. And we thought, the Rams are probably going to close the game out. 3rd and 10, if they get a first down, they win the game. And McVay, who was pass happy all game, decides, I'm going to do a RPO, a screen RPO here, and just have Stafford hand the ball off. And I was like, did he really just give the ball back to Caleb Williams when he had been trusting Matt Stafford all season long? So McVay got bailed out by that interception. But the Rams, this is their. I mean, they've been weird the last couple months, but they outplayed Seattle for the most part in both games. So now's their time to do it if they want to do it.
Special teams made the difference in that game. In Seattle, where Seattle won, but I think this NFC Championship is the Super Bowl. I think whoever comes out of this game is winning it.
People are saying like it's the real Super Bowl because we all kind of feel like New England, their roster isn't quite there, especially defensively. No, they've been playing excellent.
I don't know. They've been
against the 2 worst offensive lines. So we'll see. I mean, and now they're facing a backup quarterback. So I don't know what to make of New England. They're
not asking him to be good for 8 games. Like, you need to be good for 1 game here. And he has pro experience. Like, he started.
Who, Stidham?
Yeah.
Yeah, and as a Raiders fan, I mean, I thought Stidham had a couple of good games with the Raiders when he played there.
Fine backup quarterback in this league.
Yeah.
I think he's very serviceable. If he just doesn't turn over that ball, the Broncos are going to hang in that game, especially at home.
Sean Payton will have a good game plan. It'll be close at least in the first half.
Is there any more Denver magic here to make it to the Super Bowl? Like at home?
Imagine if they do, man. Imagine if they do.
That would be one of the more stories in football because everyone's like, oh, this team's frauds, this team is frauds, and then the backup quarterback comes in, they can still win. Like, that would be incredible. Honestly, I would love that.
I don't think New England or Denver has gotten respect all year, really.
No, because Denver because they've had a lot of 1-score wins, and New England because they're young, and they had an easy schedule. But hey, you gotta win the games, right? Like you gotta give teams. Anyone could beat anybody in the NFL. I think New England proved they're a real team, but similarly to the Bears, I thought they're a year away, but they've run into a much better situation in terms of their playoff path than the Bears did. So here they are, the favorites to go to the Super Bowl, and I want to see the Patriots make it because I want to see, especially if the Rams beat the Seahawks. Drake May versus Matthew Stafford, the 2 best quarterbacks in the league this year in the Super Bowl would be really great.
Do you guys have the Rams?
I don't know. I haven't thought about my picks, but I think we're going to have to make them here.
We probably got to make picks here in this
that's
episode
true.
anyway. I'll just say this. I got to ride the Rams because I had them in the Super Bowl. And,
I agree. I'm doing the same.
And that's the only
That was
reason.
my
But
decent pick out of the NFC.
Cashman on it. If
Are you guys all
care
taking
about-
the Rams?
I am.
I think Seattle's going to win. I really do.
I honestly I'm just so excited for this game. I just think it's gonna be tremendous. I don't really have any rooting interest because I
It
love
might be the
Seattle.
most rated NFC Championship game ever. Like I feel like it could be one of the highest rated
You're
games.
not getting it from the LA market. Jeez, I don't know if you guys saw that. Nobody from LA, nobody cares about the Rams in LA. It's just a disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't even in the top 10 markets. I mean, it was like Milwaukee. It was Chicago, obviously. Milwaukee, like Minneapolis. It was
I
like,
didn't know that.
it was those Midwestern. And then Pittsburgh was like seventh randomly. And LA was nowhere to be found. But I think Seattle, man. I think they just get it. I think they're in the Rams' heads right now with that game, how that ended, and they've just been playing better than the Rams down the stretch here. Now, the Rams 3 straight road playoff games too. A lot of travel. Seattle blew out San Francisco last week. They have more rest. You know, everything's in Seattle's favor theoretically. So.
Yeah, San Francisco. I mean, you could have seen that coming. Like they ran out. They just so many injuries.
Yeah.
They had so much adversity. They just ran out of gas. And
They
it was a short week.
They
Yeah.
needed that first seed so badly. They needed
Yeah.
that week badly.
But they weren't real. I mean, with all their injuries, from a talent perspective, they just weren't a first seed this year. If they would have stayed healthy, I think absolutely with how well Shanahan coached this year.
Yeah, I think they exceed any expectations we had.
Oh yeah, well, Shanahan did a
Yeah.
great job
Yeah.
this year. It's solid. I mean, in the playoffs, obviously the Seattle, they weren't even terrible defensively against Seattle. Seattle had the kick return and they had short fields. But I thought the Niners
Darnold
in
didn't
the
have to do
playoffs,
anything to win that
yeah,
game.
they
Yeah.
got short fields like. You know, the Niners were pressing, and they turned it over a couple
Seattle,
times.
once you get behind Seattle, it's really tough to come back against that defense.
Yeah. So
But
I
also,
think the
like, I
Niners.
think this is like sort of like not much of the game, but like just look at Seattle, like the moves they've had to make. They trade Russell Wilson, and they get a haul, something that he's never going to garner ever again from a trade. Then you fire Pete Carroll, you trade Geno Smith. Like you make all these tough decisions, and ultimately it's worked out to perfection. Because now you got a quarterback that I know he didn't have to do much.
Get those lights off. Get those lights off.
Yeah, I know. The lights are too bright for me speaking, I guess. No, Sam Darnold, I mean, I know he didn't have to do much against the Niners, but it didn't matter. I mean, he's been very good all year, and then you sort of have, you have the offensive weapons, especially that receiver, and then you have the great defense. I mean, this Seahawks team had to make so many tough decisions, but it worked out, and I think a lot of teams need to take notes because they're afraid to make these tough decisions. I mean, not many teams are going to trade Russell Wilson coming off a 30-some touchdown season, or he was hurt, but he had 25 touchdowns, something like that, and it was the exact perfect time to trade him too. So
I think Seattle, because people are like, oh, Sam Darnold, is he that good? They've been disrespected all year as well. But
That
they are
touchdown to
even if they may not win the Super Bowl or they may lose, but like they are the best team. Like they're the team to beat now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's nice when you move on from your quarterback and you have a quarterback that just won 14 games, just lands right in your lap. So.
Yep.
I bet the Raiders, they wish they had Sam Darnold instead of Geno there with their decision making.
I mean, we got Mendoza, so
right, it all works out.
yeah.
But
Sam Darnold wouldn't have succeeded. I mean, he probably wouldn't have been as bad as
If-
Geno
if-
Smith, but he would have succeeded with what happened in Las
Well,
Vegas
God,
this
right.
year.
it's a great environment around.
And getting
Like,
an
yeah.
offer from Seattle, no offense to the Raiders, but he's going to take Seattle,
Yeah.
like at that moment in time. So
I mean, but you talk about all those moves. I mean, who's the architect behind all? It's John Schneider. He's the best executive in football. Like, I mean, I think last year we talked about Howie Roseman,
They're right there.
but like
The Eagles
that's
have some real issues this offseason.
yeah,
They have a lot.
but so they also did a couple years ago too. So we'll see.
well. I don't know. I think Howie's better at like drafting maybe, but like the Eagles or the Seahawks are better at the bigger moves, like in terms of coaches, quarterback. I don't know. It's hard to compare, I guess.
Seattle defensively draft really well, though. I mean, all
Yeah,
those
they do.
players, you know.
I mean, the Seahawks. What the big difference is the Seahawks had to go through a big rebuild. Like the Eagles have never really had to go through a rebuild. Not necessarily.
Well,
Not really.
but their rebuild was like 8-9, 9-8. That was their
Yeah.
I mean, they were
Well, they
terrible.
stopped the year before that. They
Yeah.
had to fire Peterson.
Right? Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like they're such a stable organization. I would kill to have Schneider as a GM, just overseeing a team. But you want to let's do picks here while we're at it, just so I can get a nice edit here for our picks here. We got Cashman in the flesh as well, so this is
Wait, I got a
perfect
question.
here.
Are we counting the postseason with the regular season?
So yes and no. Like the regular season. Yeah, he doesn't.
So
He
you
has-
won the regular season.
So you're the regular season champion. Even though we tied, you had the better record. So we have the regular season is what it is, right? But we have the full season standings as well.
Oh,
So there's gonna be a full season champion. And I've had a disaster of a playoffs. So and Jake Bell's been doing well, but I don't think he's gonna do enough to catch up to you.
Yeah, like
So-
my wild card weekend was phenomenal, except my lock, which
Yeah.
I'm so upset about. And then the second round, I had the Texans and they lost, and
Yeah.
Bills and they lost.
wait, Payne, who did you pick the Bears to win that game?
I did. I was the only one.
Who was your lock that last week?
Houston.
A lot of people were riding Houston.
You know what I said? We could talk. We haven't talked about that game. I said, it was in the short we made. I said, I think it comes down to the trenches. I think Houston can do a better job in the trenches. And I said, I'm gonna trust that C.J. Stroud maintains his composure. Those were my exact words, and the exact opposite of that happened. So I assumed wrong about C.J. Stroud, which that was abysmal. And we all like C.J. Stroud here, but you talk about having to have a conversation. There's going to have to be a conversation about C.J. Stroud because he's costing himself a big contract with how he's performed in these playoffs. So
Yeah, no, I mean that was.
I'm cool with
I
that.
mean, was I the only one? I was the only one on the podcast, Cash. I don't know. Did you pick
Yeah.
New England?
I did not. I had Houston.
you picked dude, and that's why I knew Houston was doomed because I felt like everyone was taking Houston. I was like, why? Why are you all picking my team, bro?
Same.
This is
Yeah,
my
that's why I was just like, I'm gonna take New England because they were the team at home, I was just like, everybody else is taking. I could gain some points if I get it, I'm still trying to be a more respectable. I'm trying to be respectable here with my score. But I'm just at zero. I'm just even.
And we've
I'm
been
just
making
even.
all the playoff games 2 points, which is why Jake Bell is a 4 or 5 points ahead of me now because he's done well and everything's worth 2 points. But I'll take my regular season tie. I'm gonna hang the banner over there.
Because Cashman was doing so well.
And that's more games, right? I mean, the playoffs makes it more interesting though because we have more points involved. So.
No matter what,
I'll finish to my regular season.
you
You're
hung
gonna
on
win
though.
What's
But
up?
no, I said you hung on in the regular
it's all right,
season,
it's all
and you'll be okay. I was just if I would have got like 3 locks right, I could have been somewhere. But my locks curse continued in the playoffs. 0 for 2. The one I got wrong last week was my lock, of course. So I'm just gonna pick the opposite of Peyton here. These last 3 games, and see if I can. Is there any way I can catch my beat? Is there a scenario, Peyton?
That would be the biggest choke of all time for being tied for first place to losing.
Like I could theoretically do the opposite of Cashman, but I don't want to because I want to pick who I think's gonna win, even if that costs me first place down the road.
Honestly, I don't know who's gonna win.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I'll just say my picks now. I'm going Rams against Patriots. I see a rematch of a couple decades and a half ago. So
Cashman, what you got?
Let me think about it. I'll go last.
All right,
So, you want to go, Nate, or should I go?
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna pick against you.
Um,
That's a good question.
I'm gonna. Well, yeah, I gotta go with Seattle because I did have them in the Super Bowl. Um, but I think all of a sudden Seattle's getting a ton of respect, and people are sleeping on the Rams now because they've been kind of they've looked but they're here and they perform well. Like if you could get the points with the Rams, I'd take it. But I'm gonna be rooting for my guy Sammy D. So I gotta go with the Seahawks, and yeah, I'm not gonna pick Jarrett Stidham. So I'll lock up the Patriots.
Rematch of the 1 yard line interception Super Bowl.
Yep.
Bunch of
The crazy thing is, like, if the Patriots go into the Super Bowl, like, whoever they play, there'll be a storyline there because McVay lost the Super Bowl to Belichick, and obviously the Seahawks-Patriots thing. So.
And Broncos Seahawks, that would be a Super Bowl rematch. Blowout. Like, there's so many different.
That was such a bad Super Bowl.
Rematch if that could happen.
Yeah.
At least to my knowledge, I don't know if the Broncos and Rams ever faced off, but
I don't know.
my buddy,
All right, I guess,
he knows every single Super Bowl that's ever happened.
well, I guess it's my turn, and you know, Jarrett Stidham's feeling frisky this week. I'm to the point, with these picks. I'm just having fun. I like storylines. I don't like Sean Payton. Me and Payton had a bit of an argument about it last week.
You were very disrespectful about Sean
I was
Payton.
not. I don't like Sean Payton.
You
I
were
gotta be
praising
honest.
Mike Tomlin, and
I was not praising Mike Tomlin.
Oh,
I was-
yes, we literally
No.
were.
No, I was
Let's
just
not
being
get into
fair.
this on the podcast record.
But with all that being said, I think Jarrett Stidham is that guy. I just
He did just
saw
have
it,
a kid.
and
I'm
that's
pretty sure he just
important.
had a kid.
And that's very important.
Oh,
The
wow.
dad strength. And Drake May playoffs. I love Drake May, but
He's actually
playoffs
fumbling a
road
lot.
game, hostile environment, Broncos defense. Nobody, absolutely nobody, is picking the Denver Broncos. And I'm not a Sean Payton guy, obviously, but I am a Jarrett Stidham guy this week. Give me Denver. I love Denver. I'm a Nuggets guy. I feel obligated. I gotta support Denver one time this year. I've been hating on them all year. Give me Denver, big upset. And I'm gonna go Rams just because I have them as my Super Bowl team. But I think that's gonna be a great game. If Seattle wins, I don't have any rooting interest at all. I think that's gonna be a really fun game.
So whenever the Broncos win the Super Bowl and I see on my feed Jarrett Stidham lover, I know it's from you.
It is because I may or may not invest heavily in Jarrett Stidham this week. No, I'm kidding, obviously. I would lose all my money probably, but
If Stidham's a free agent and he goes on a run, he can make himself a lot of money
Yeah,
considering how much
he could.
QB
are you
makes.
saying,
Steelers sign him.
Are you saying Jarrett Stidham is a Pittsburgh Steeler at the
Yeah, that's what I'm implying. Of that. I guarantee it. Watch. He's going to win the Super Bowl. Steelers are going to sign him like 3 years, $30 million, something ridiculous.
Oh,
All right.
man.
All right, Cashman.
I thought this before you said it, but I'm going Denver too.
What? You can't go Denver.
Why not? Yes, he can. Of course he can. Of course he can.
Yeah, we'll have
No.
the picks too.
No.
I'm going Denver. I just have a feeling. They're at home. I like Sean Payton at home in a big stage, and
I do think it's going to be close. I do.
The Patriots are not blowing out.
I don't think it'll be a blowout.
That game's going to be close. Stidham's serviceable. I think people are underestimating him. He has experience. I'm not saying he's going to, win the game for Denver. He's not. They're going to have to find a way to win without, a good quarterback. But I think Denver wins this game. I don't think May's played all that well. I really don't think he's done amazing. Obviously he was amazing in the regular season. He's going to finish runner-up in the MVP voting, but.
Now, Houston, I do want to say this. Houston harassed him like they harass everybody.
Yeah.
And that's why he fumbled, I wouldn't say that it was I think it was more of Houston's defense making plays, but, he still made the big throws when it matters the most.
And everybody
touchdowns.
Everyone fumbled that game.
Yeah, it was just one of those games. So, if New England's defense plays close to the way they did the last couple of weeks, then it's going to be tough for Denver. But it would be shocking if Denver won, but, it's the playoffs, it's the AFC Championship. You don't know how guys are going to come out and play. You just don't.
Does the NFL want Stidham starting the Super Bowl?
You know what, Cashman? That's what I was just thinking. I think I might change my pick right now because I'm thinking more. Ryan Cashman has ruined it. Ryan Cashman has ruined this for me. That's why I wanted to go last. I should have went last because I was last place, and I could have had some time to readjust there. But the NFL does not want Jared Stidham in the Super Bowl. Let's be honest. And so I don't know.
But does the NFL want a storyline like a Nick Foles? You know what I mean? I don't know. But Jared Stidham starting Super Bowl is not enticing. It's not.
Cashman.
Now you're making me want to change my pick. we're both
so what's your lock? So wait a second. Who's your lock? What's your guys' lock then? Are you locking Denver?
my lock.
England, I guess.
My lock is.
If I lock Denver, do I get bonus points?
I could give you guys. No, I'm not giving you. Come
on, I got Jared Stidham, man.
Well, you'd get an extra point for locking. I don't know. We got to think about that. We're gonna think about that. It's been a long day. I can't process that right now.
Okay, my lock is gonna be. This is my lock. Fernando Mendoza, #1 overall pick. That's my lock for this week. That's my lock this week. No, actually, if I lock Denver and they win, that has to be I win this pick.
50 million points.
That's 50 billion. 50 billion for me. What the heck? Denver, lock of the week. What the heck? What do I got to lose? My locks are wrong every week anyway.
Since you're locking the Broncos, I'm going to lock the Patriots because I feel like that's just what's going to end up.
It's common sense.
Yeah. So I'm locking the Patriots.
You would think it's common sense. Did you take the Rams, Jake?
So wait, are you actually locking Denver?
Why not? What do I got to lose? Okay, I'm all in.
Exactly
I'm all in on Jared.
I think Seattle's going to win this. I just got to go with the team I picked to make it to the Super Bowl before the season started.
I was hoping we had different ones, so maybe I could win. But if I lock the Patriots, that's a good
I want to take Seattle, but I got to ride with my team.
That's what I'm thinking.
Wow. Rams.
Wait. Who are you picking, Cashman? The Rams or Seattle? You're picking the Rams. So you all three are taking the Rams.
Yeah.
There you go, Pirate P. We just handed it to you. So there you go.
I don't know. I think the whole country is on Seattle, so I don't know.
What else? We gotta talk to baseball. We talked a little football. I wanted to cash in. We gotta talk to you with you here. We're just days out from a massive New York Yankees contract for Cody Bellinger. They sensed the bluff of the Bellinger camp and these other teams, and they got him at that 5-year deal. Was his opt-outs? Did he have opt-outs? Did he have the opt-outs second or third year?
I think he had 2 opt-outs.
Boris loves the opt-outs.
His second year and his third year, he can opt out.
Boris is an issue. We gotta have a
He's
conversation.
an issue for me. He keeps me up at night.
And he's also an issue for the Pirates because he tells all his clients don't go there.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
So how did those negotiations go down, Cashman? How did it all come together?
I mean, it was rough. It was a rough negotiation process. He thought he was worth more. I knew he was worth 5 years. I said, go ahead, go try the open market, and I'll be here waiting. Next thing you know, he's knocking on my door, and we get a deal done.
Any free agents? Any big free agents? Do you guys really have any free agents that you've brought in this offseason? Obviously, you said earlier Garrett Cole is that's an addition, which it is. But any big any trades, free agents you think are on the horizon?
We're paying a lot of guys right now, a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
But you're the Yankees. What's going on with Steinbrenner? Is he running low on cash or what?
I mean, we don't have Mets money.
That is true.
Yeah, Cohen's a different animal. Yeah. He's like what the Tigers owner used to be before he passed away.
Cashman, were you on Peralta? There was rumors that the Yankees were looking at Peralta. The Mets obviously paid a good price to acquire Peralta.
I don't think that's a big need for us with Cole coming back. I don't think we need to give up a bunch of top prospects for Peralta. I mean, I think you look at our staff: Reed, Cole, Rodon, and then Schittler, who had an unbelievable postseason. Let's see what he can do during a full year. But yeah, I don't think that was a priority going into this offseason was an ace starting pitcher. Maybe that's something at the deadline if you want a rental, where you don't have to give up those insane top prospects that the Mets had to give away. But I was never interested in Peralta because I knew the price was going to be high.
Don't you guys need a third baseman?
Yeah.
I was just thinking I mean, Eugenio Suarez, it feels like everyone's out on him except the Pirates. So and we know he's not going to the Pirates.
I don't think he's going to the Pirates either.
Yeah, unless we're signing him for 1 year, $10 million, I wouldn't want Suarez.
Suarez at Yankee Stadium, that left field, and even the opposite way. I mean,
he feels like a Yankee. I think he need to make some calls. Cash.
He feels like a Seattle Mariner.
He would be better with the Yankees than he would be for the Pirates.
I think he's hitting 15 more home runs if he's a Yankee.
Oh yeah, and he's less likely to decline right away. And like you mentioned, the Yankees short port. Yeah, I think it would work out.
And I think that pressure when you play in New York, you gotta be locked in. The fans are going to be on you, whereas for Pittsburgh, I think the pressure's not as intense to perform, I think.
So are we running it back with Volpe at short? What's the deal there?
Why not? Volpe gets hated on.
He does, but I don't know how much more this guy can take in New York.
His a liability, that's for sure.
It's weird because it doesn't have that bad of a defensive run save numbers, but he just commits errors. That it's just routine.
Well, I think it's unfair that some of these Yankee fans, they see a top prospect that's a shortstop and they think he's going to be the next Derek Jeter.
That's true.
It's very unfair expectations from a young. He's still young. He's still in his early 20s, so I think he can still develop and still be a serviceable shortstop in the MLB. And I think this year's a big year for him. It's a prove it year. If he doesn't show it this year, that's where we move on from him.
And Ben Rice is your full-time first baseman, right? I'd assume. Benjamin Rice.
Yeah, Ben Rice. He's a good ball player. But Judge, he's not getting any younger. He can't hit 60 home runs every year, so we're gonna have to find a way.
Can Trent Grisham repeat that performance? I mean, that was unbelievable.
He took receipts.
What he did last season.
Yeah, he did. He really did.
You were just...
Hey, I'll admit, I was very harsh on Trent, and then very early, I called him some very nasty things. But I've grown to love Trent Grisham. I learned about him as a person. He's a nice guy. He's a family guy, and he hit bombs last year, and he proved me wrong all year. And so I bow down before Trent Grisham. I wanted the Pirates to get him if he didn't accept the qualifying offer. I wanted the Pirates to go after him. And he would probably do bad with the Pirates just because Pittsburgh Pirates. But
Just
it's an interesting question. It's an interesting question, Trent Grisham, because that was just so off what he's done all his career. It was, I mean, we'll see. I mean, but again, I think that rotation, now that you mentioned it, Cashman, it is a lot better than I think people think. Now, Cole, is he expected like to come back like June, or is he like spring training
He
and
should be
go?
scheduled to come back, right?
I would
'Cause
think,
Because
yeah.
he had Tommy John at the end of spring training last year.
maybe not the beginning of this, because that Tommy John could be over
Yeah,
a year.
I'm
That could
thinking
take
That's
over
what
a
I'm
year.
saying. It's usually over a year.
Like May or June. So I don't know.
I mean, we're not in desperate need Cole right off the gate. Like, we're gonna be fine. Like, he can come back when he needs to.
There is depth. There's depth to that rotation, certainly. And is Clark Schmidt still there, isn't he too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean that's a lot of depth, I think. And they have some random minor league guys that like they bring up and they do well.
Yeah.
So, but Cashin, I want to ask you about what your fellow industry executives are feeling right now with the Dodgers with 60 million a year to Kyle Tucker,
You've been
$64
down
million
bad for
signing bonus.
Tucker.
I was
He was
down.
down bad for Tucker. And
That was your
he
guy.
couldn't even
I mean,
compete
you
for
can't compete with that.
Yeah, you
can't.
can.
Nobody can compete with that. He does not deserve anywhere near 60 million a year. I mean, you can make an
He
argument 30, but
disappeared
that's
for the
double
entire.
it.
He disappeared for the entire second half of the season. Honestly, ruined the Cubs' chances. They ruined their. He ruined their momentum because their lineup just kind of went to shit in the second half of the season.
PCA also had a bad second.
Yeah, like their
Yeah.
entire. But it was Tucker. Like he had to be that guy, and he wasn't. So I don't know how he gets 60 million a year.
Well,
but
look at it this way: the Dodgers, other than Trevor Bauer, their contracts for these big time free agents have been very good. It's worked out very very well in their favor. And Kyle Tucker could be the first case scenario where maybe he doesn't perform as well, not only because of the pressure of the 60 million, but there's been a lot of questions about his character, not his character, but just his, I guess, determination. He just doesn't fit the Dodgers mold where you got Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani playing every single inning like it's their last.
Yeah, but the thing with Tucker, like, they're not asking him to be the guy.
That's true.
He doesn't have to take
Well,
on that big role.
That report about Tucker, that seems to be a little jealousy to me. These unnamed people, these anonymous people, bro just got 60 million and they're jealous. That's what it seemed like to me.
That
I've
is
never
true.
heard that before.
I don't know. Like I don't know. It'll be interesting. I just don't think he's gonna. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna be worth the contract that he got. It's just a gut feeling. I don't know. I like Kyle Tucker as a player. It's just he's not this groundbreaking guy. Like whenever I heard he was gonna get $400 million, I'm like, I don't know. Like it was just weird.
the first half of the year last year, he felt like a guy who could get $400 million.
Yeah.
But I want to off topic real quick. I had a conversation with our friend Megan Lukic this week, and she was like, I was like, yeah, I've been watching a little more Penguins. She says, I'm gonna try and watch more Pirates. I gotta give a shout out to this Penguins team because
It's a different Penguins team.
Yes.
Like not joking.
this is the Pirates and Steelers need to pay attention. This is what a real organization looks like. Okay, and I had doubts about Kyle Dubas, but to pull off this trade with Jari, about a year or two too late, but to get Stuart Skinner, who's been excellent, he's been there in the playoffs and done it, right? And currently they are kicking Tristan Jari's ass. Up
3-0
in
the first period.
Are we?
Yes, sir. And Stuart Skinner. Oh, they keep starting the Slavs guy. I don't know whatever his name is, but
How about Sidney Crosby scoring 27 goals, being fifth in the NHL at 38?
it's unbelievable. And what this Muse guy and the general manager Dubas, they're letting the young talent play. This Kindle, I feel like, has changed everything for them.
Yeah,
He's like that young star they needed.
Right now,
Chinakhov.
Chinakov,
Chinakhov's been great.
real player. And you
Yeah.
got to look at Eric Carlson this year. He's played unreal.
And
He's back.
I've been thinking, I've been saying trade him, but
No, you're not the only one.
And you look around the league, and especially in the playoffs, the power play is such a crucial aspect of the game. And when you need
they're magical.
The Penguins are have the third best power play in the league.
Yep.
That's a complete 180 from what it was.
And that just makes a world of a difference, especially when you got some older guys who obviously still have some skill. And Geno Malkin he's another guy that's played crazy good this year considering his age.
These guys age like fine wine.
Yeah.
They just needed some younger guys, and they got that.
Malkin's moving. Malkin hasn't moved this well in probably 5 years, I'd say. And then you look at a guy like Anthony Mantha and Justin Brazeau, each scoring more than 10 goals this season. That's just getting some insane value in free agency from guys that were overlooked. It just comes back to Dubas. It really does. The moves that he's made have been incredible, and he's just turned this team around. But
they were supposed to be a bottom 5 team. Yeah. Everyone kept saying they're a bottom 5 team, and they're probably going to be a playoff team.
The way you get out of Jari's contract, and you still bring in the serviceable NHL goaltender who has Stanley Cup final experience, and now he's away from the Canada media where it's a little excessive, where he can kind of do his own thing in Pittsburgh. The media is not going to be as hard on him, and he's benefited from that. He's benefited from the pressure of not having to elevate his game so McDavid can win the cup, whereas in Pittsburgh he does his own thing. Crosby, Malkin, they already have their cups, and he's just playing unreal.
And look at it this way too, Jari was basically in baseball terms DFA'd. All these teams had an opportunity to get him, and they passed. So getting out of that and grabbing a goalie who has been better, and you get out of the Jari situation, I think that's very crucial.
And he played well enough where they could get him out, because they've seen this guy in the playoffs. Even during his good years, he doesn't show up in the playoffs, and that's what you need from your goaltender. And I'm not saying Stuart Skinner is obviously the long-term guy there, but if you get into the playoffs, you have a guy of experience who's done well there. That means something. And I feel like the whole Jari thing has just been a dark cloud over the franchise for a long time. And it feels like ever since they brought on Stuart Skinner, it's like they're all of a sudden they're just winning. They're winning a ton, and they were winning, but they're catching a second gear here going in the second half of the season. So good for them.
I think it was about a month ago now. They had their struggles. Me and Nate were at that Ducks game, and they lost 6 straight games, and that could have been the downfall of the team at that point of the season. And then they continue to fight. They get back to find their A game, and here they are second in the Metro right now, which is, no one could have predicted that. But I think it also helps that the Metropolitan Division has been really bad this season. It's probably the worst out of the 4, but we'll take it as Penguin fans. Just crazy good season so far.
Yeah, Cashman, it was, I was thinking they're done. After that game we were at, and then they kept losing in overtime after that. It got worse, but they look like a top 8 team right now in hockey. You just watch them. I was watching against Calgary last night, and they're just all the time. You saw Malkin gets that puck in possession, fires it around. I can't remember who, one of the defensemen, he chips it to Chinikov, and he just fires it into the back of the net on the move. I think Chinikov, that was a great addition by Dubas. And I want to say, I've been a Dubas guy, and some people maybe not have been a Dubas guy here.
I'll take full response. He's proven me wrong. I just, the whole Jari contract thing I thought was goofy. I thought they could have moved off some older pieces, but they've kept some guys around, and it's worked out.
His first offseason was rough, but he's on his way.
I didn't mean to go. We never talk Penguins, but we might have to start talking a little Penguins here and there.
Oh, I'm gonna head off, boys. I'm gonna get to bed. But
all right, guys.
All
right, Cashman. Thank you, Brian, for joining us. It's been great. It was a complete surprise. We're gonna wrap up here too because my earbuds are dying. We've been on longer than I anticipated. But you guys have anything else to add?
I don't think so.
Great hire by Baltimore this evening
Yeah, that
of
was.
Jesse Minter.
That was.
I wanted to get more into the hirings, but with
Things
Cashman
happen.
coming on, it turned things on its head. So, but we love Brian.
Yep, thank you, Brian. I mean, that was a tremendous surprise tonight. You know, first week of classes, and Brian Cashman shows up to put a bow on it. Just tremendous job by Brian. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Episode 61. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, please. I'm begging you. I'm on my knees for you to subscribe to our channel. And to follow us on social media, we're on all the platforms. And with that being said, thank you.